هل تحب الموسيقى العربية هذه الكلمات؟
Useless. I do not understand their language. There are few people about, and many shutters are closed. This must be siesta. Ah, this sign must indicate the direction to the museum. Let us go. Mustafa's guide, camels to hire or buy, quaint hotel, financial advisor, taxidermist, and provisions of all kinds. Inquire within. Garlic. That could prove to be very handy. This strange scale might help in some way. A small, empty flask, still intact. These great creatures are quite congenial. This could come in handy.
And a very good day, Effendi. Whatever you search, you have knocked on the right door with Mustafa. That is me, Mustafa. What do you desire? A guide, a camel, a certified dentist? Or perhaps the most fabulous hookah that also works as bagpipes?
I am only in need of a discreet room and a bit of information.
No problem, not at all. I will bring your bags up and give you my most inconspicuous room, which just happens to be the nicest, as well as the most expensive. Is served just after the 10 o'clock prayers. As for the camels, you have but to ask.
I will remember. Thank you, my friend. Tell me, how do I get to the Egyptian Museum?
It's all very complicated, but you are very lucky, Effendi. Mustafa, that is me, of course, knows Cairo like no other. So, you take the road to the left of the park where my camels are, and straight ahead, go directly,
Thank you. I will find it. Well, I must go, Mustafa. Until later.
Farewell, Effendi. Farewell.
Ah, Cairo's famous Egyptian Museum. What riches must be stored within its walls? Good day, sir. I am Professor Van Helsing. You should have received a courier announcing that I would be coming.
Ah, yes, hello. Indeed, my superior, Lord Grosvenor, informed me of your arrival. I am the assistant director. Lord Grosvenor is absent. He is on an archaeological dig in Sudan. He won't be back for another 3 weeks.
To be honest, I have need of nothing but a bit of information. Perhaps you could clarify something for me.
I would gladly put myself at your disposition if I wasn't overburdened with work already. You see, Lord Grosvenor amasses such a quantity of objects from various excavations that he supervises, but he doesn't have the time to do the classification, which is a necessary consequence. This work was assigned to me but would represent a challenge to 10 of the best scribes. I must apologize, but I cannot be of assistance at the moment.
Listen, I am more of a practical man, but I can certainly help you. Entrust one of your tasks to me. You will gain time, and hopefully I will gain some information in exchange.
It is with great pleasure that I accept your assistance. You can, for example... Wait, do you see this list? All of these objects were distributed throughout the museum, but they should be together. Can you find them?
What is a deben?
It was a unit of measurement in ancient Egypt. It was mostly used for precious metals like copper or gold, giving the weight of the metal corresponding to its value. For example, 1 deben of copper corresponded to 27.3 grams of that metal. For gold, 13.6 grams was enough to reach this value. The scribes possessed benchmark weights to perform their measurements, in the form of a wire of the metal in question, folded over itself. I can give you a copper deben. You can keep it as a souvenir, as with the stylus that I see there. I must rid myself of them.
Excuse me, I am going to look in the museum.
That won't be a problem.
Tell me, can I borrow this?
Certainly.
It is a sketch of the Giza site, showing the actual heights of the pyramids. Impressive. These sarcophagi are very well conserved. Quite the feat in the middle of all of these dusty odds and sods. This sarcophagus is that of an unknown pharaoh, but it is missing something. A miniature pyramid. Curious. A crook, one of Osiris's symbols, an insignia of the pharaohs. This artifact is nothing but a poor reproduction. Bizarre. I'll take it. Granite scarab, of little value. What disarray! Incredible how one can find anything inside. A hookah, museum piece, or intended for the director's use. Someone must collect pyramids. A superb piece, certainly very old. A helmet. The tag says, helmet of a Spanish soldier, found in the wreck of a galleon offshore from Alexandria. Papyrus from excavations in 1852, not of interest. A flail or neck-and-neck, insignia of royalty during the time of the pharaohs. This artifact is nothing but a poor reproduction. Bizarre. I'll take it. Someone must collect pyramids. A key. What can it open? Another pyramid. This knife with a mother-of-pearl handle is magnificent. Another pyramid. Head with a solar disk, the sign of loyalty to the pharaohs. This chest from the Saracen era is ancient, but its keyhole has been recently repaired. There is something inside. Someone wanted to hide this pyramid, unbeknownst to the director. There. Perfect. Open. Someone wanted to hide this pyramid, unbeknownst to the director.
Excuse me, sir, but I have much work to do.
There. I have finished collecting all of the objects on the list. Now, would you do me the kindness of answering my questions?
If I can. What are you looking for?
The tomb of a priest venerating ancient accursed gods. In this spot, a tome called the Demonomicon of Ouija was found. Have you heard of it?
Great gods above! How do you know of the existence of this damn book? It's one of the best-kept secrets of ancient Egypt. No learned Muslim has dared to make reference in any writing, and I believe the Christian Church long ago burnt any text which contained this name. I know but little regarding the Demonomicon, only that it is supposed to contain all of the teachings of an abject cult that worshipped the outer gods, notably that of the Black Sphinx during the reign of I don't know which pharaoh. Anything that touches this cult, directly or indirectly, is damned, and even speaking of it brings unhappiness. Do you really want to find this tomb?
I am afraid so. Do you have any idea where I can find it?
Frankly, no. However, it seems to me that there's an isolated spot, the Blood Rocks, that has an awful reputation. Some of the men who work on our digs say that no one has ever returned from this damned spot, except for one Bedouin looter, raving mad, crying out that all of his companions had been eaten by a black demon. Apparently he died a few days later, and we found in the folds of his robe a sort of solar disc made out of gold. This piece was unfortunately stolen before arriving at the museum, and must have been smuggled out of the country. I can show you the placement of these rocks on a map, but no one will accompany you there.
Well, I shall depart, and thank you for all of your help.
Goodbye, sir, and good luck.
I must find this Mustafa. These great creatures are quite congenial. Curious, this trough is clogged up with herbs, fresh herbs. Apparently someone recently threw them in the water. This might be useful. I am taking it. What is wrong, my friend? You look as if you dropped a 16-ton block on your foot.
May Allah curse the bastard son who did this. May the guardian scarabs enter through his fundament and devour his entrails slowly with small spoons that are bent and rusty. May he rot and die.
I frankly do not envy the bastard who did this to you. Please tell me more, and on your way, would you saddle me a camel?
A camel! He wants me to saddle a camel! But it is my camels, Mustafa's camels. They have all fallen ill. Look at them. This morning, full of energy, and bam! They are all on the ground like worms. Such misery and misfortune. I had to borrow money to buy them.
Listen, there must be a solution. Why don't you call for a veterinarian?
A veterinarian is too exorbitant. To care for a camel, I would have to sell one of my legs, and I have 7 camels. Do I have 7 legs to sell? The only veterinarian who is affordable, some would say even cheap, is my cousin Mulud. Mulud is also a hairdresser, heating engineer, bricklayer, and raises woodlice. But, as he is also a customs officer, he is also involved in a work to rule at this very moment. It pains me so. But tell me, where did you want to go?
I must go to a place called the Blood Rocks. It is not far from Cairo.
To the Blood Rocks? But you are crazy! A madman! No one will loan you a camel to go to the Blood Rocks.
I must go just the same, and with haste. If I can find a way to heal one of your camels, and I pay you triple your fee, will you agree to let me have one?
You have a deal. I have just thought of one thing. There is in the quarter an old Christian, a monk, you understand? The women go to him for the ancient remedies and his healing powers. He is near the Coptic quarters. Past my house, and it's in a lane on the left, you see? He might have something for my camels.
I must depart, my friend.
Oh, my poor camels.
Peace be with you, my child.
My child, are you a priest?
Yes, I am a Coptic priest. What can I do for you?
Well, I don't know if I can help you. My innkeeper Mustafa's camels have unexpectedly fallen ill, and I am in desperate need of a mount to take me into the desert. I have been told that you might know of a remedy.
Perhaps. But a sick camel usually takes some time to recuperate. Mustafa is not the only one who hires camels. Why do you need one of his?
He seems to be the only one willing to let me take a camel to the Blood Rocks.
In order to fight evil, you must know it. Find out why the camels are sick, and then come to see me, and I will help you.
Well, goodbye then. I found some strange leaves floating in the cistern. They don't seem to have been there long.
These leaves are those of a poisonous shrub, my son. Normally they are dried and thrown into the evening fire. Their odor scares off the snakes. A few fresh leaves in a drink, however, transforms them into a potent poison. Luckily, camels are large, robust animals. These leaves are only found far in the desert. I would hazard a guess that someone is after either Mustafa or his camels.
Would you have an antidote for this poison?
Give this to one of the camels to drink. He will arise and will be able to take you where you see fit. The others will recover after a week of rest.
Thank you. How much do I owe?
I have helped you because it is my duty to help others in need. Perhaps it will be your turn to help me one day. You said that you are traveling to the Blood Rocks. Take care, my son. This spot has been defiled by the darkness. 2 days ago, a flock of nightbirds blocked the setting sun, which was illuminating the town, and flew to the Blood Rocks. It's a grave omen. Death awaits you there. Death, or worse.
I must go regardless. Thank you again. Well, goodbye then.
Tell me, what did the old monk say?
He gave me something to return one of your camels to health. The others will just need to rest. Now, tell me how to get to the Blood Rocks.
It's easy, I will show you. May Allah keep you, Effendi.
There is the tomb. Strange. It is lost in the sands. I would even say, concealed. These etchings are quite sinister. I understand that no one comes here. What has happened? My God! The entrance is blocked by these boulders.
Now, Mongrel, how do you find the tomb? Or should I say, your tomb? The master informed me of your arrival and that you would seek out a most hideous death. And now you are satisfied. You shall be in agony, dying of hunger and thirst, prisoner of the darkness. No one comes here, and no one will hear your screams as you lapse into madness before you die.
This man must be one of the demon's henchmen. It could be he who poisoned Mustafa's camels. Well, I have no chance of shifting these boulders. I am truly a prisoner of this tomb, but I will have the final word. I have only one solution left. Find another exit after exploring this tomb. This first room must have had a utilitarian function, where tools and scaffolding were stored during the excavations which took place here. This could come in handy. Oh, I hope he won't blame me if I take this. It could serve as rope. The handle is unusable, but the head is still solid. Strange. This skeleton is not old. In fact, it is quite recent. Whoa! An abyss. Beware, there are some stakes at the bottom. Be careful. A lantern. I'll take it. Night will soon fall. Strips of linen to embalm the mummies. I shall take them for lack of anything better. Oil. No doubt a medicine table. Strange design. The man being embalmed is holding a book in his hands and seems to be reading it as if he were alive during the whole process. Nothing of interest here. Poor child. This vampire seems to take pleasure in annihilating youth and beauty. This young woman has been dead for less than 2 days. No doubt Dracula has already gotten his hands on the Demonomicon. My hopes were in vain. There is no chance of saving Mina. I must find a way out of here. She was dressed in a great black sari with a very long belt. I am taking it. This slab is a kind of door. There are grooves all around. It is impossible for someone like me, but a being that can change into fog could easily pass through these fissures. A receptacle. It must have contained a liquid. This box smells of garlic. This cavity seems to have been specially dug to insert something within. A small fissure. There, I can descend. I don't see anything. This poor chap broke a pike, impaling himself on it. Why, he had some plants in his bag. The same kind that poisoned Mustafa's camels. There. Now to find a way to get to Cairo. My makeshift pick has broken, but I'll keep the wooden stake. It may come in handy at some point. Who knows? You? But what are you doing here?
I was awaiting you, my son. You will certainly need a camel for your return to Cairo.
Thank you, but I did not think anyone would be looking for me. Certainly not you. I thought everyone was scared of this spot. You even said that it was defiled by the darkness.
It is indeed. This spot is the tomb of the high priest of the black man with no face. A bloodthirsty, cannibalistic cult that lived for centuries.
I know that. That is why I have come here. I have been searching for the Demonomicon, supposedly entombed here, but it certainly is no longer in this tomb.
What purpose do you intend for this damnable tome? Do you not know that it will do naught but beget evil?
I had hopes to the contrary. A young friend of mine in England is in the grasp of a terrible curse. I thought that the only way to save her was to discover in this book the origin of this evil in order to find a remedy. But someone has taken it. Someone whose ardent desire is to use it to a more heinous end. Someone who occasionally accompanies a flock of night birds. But you seem to know a lot about this book and this location.
I am Herodotus of Judah. I am part of a Coptic order, and my mission is that of guardian of sorts. You must know that during the centuries that followed the entombment of the Black Priest in this tomb, which marked the official end of this cursed cult, it was the source of an intense, maleficent aura which rotted the earth around here. Men and women were overcome by homicidal madness. Swarms of insects and amphibians, deformed children, sick livestock, disappearances, and atrocious deaths were the lot of this earth. And this aura extended until the advent of my order. One monk amongst these first servants of Christ, a saint amongst saints. It was his duty to put an end to this nightmare through the strength of his faith. He penetrated the tomb and created a kind of sanctuary next to the origin of evil. He took residence at this spot in order to pray, while all around him were scrolls of prayers and exorcisms, as well as the notes of a lifetime past combating demons. He was enclosed in this accursed tomb, and the entrance was sealed up by a holy cross. At the edges, objects feared by the darkness's supporters were placed. Thus, only men of goodness could pass through and open the door. By the grace of the power of our Lord, the evil consequently stopped. But a few years ago, greed brought men here. They broke the seal and liberated the evil, which killed them. No one lives here anymore, and the plague emanating from the tomb has not yet had a visible effect. But it will arrive if nothing is done. I am an old man and an outcast in this Muslim society, and there have been Frenchmen and Englishmen. I have not been able to recreate the seal.
You claim that one of your predecessors had passed his life fighting demons and was interred in this tomb with prayers of exorcism and memories written on paper. This may possibly give hope to my young friend. I may possibly be able to recreate this seal if this gives me access to the tomb. It consists of the cross on the erect flagstone. Is that correct?
Indeed, its power is inoperative, since the objects found around the edges, as well as the sacred golden disc representing the sun, were removed. We must replace the objects at the ends of the arms of the cross and recover this disc. Also, we would have to perform a brief ceremony that is taught in my order. For that, however, it is necessary to possess some ancient cult artifacts that were stolen and that I thus no longer possess. Nevertheless, the authorities stopped these crooks and deposited the sacred loot in the Egyptian Museum. Here is a list of objects that belong to us and which they refuse to render. Without them, you will not be able to save your friend.
Thank you, Herodotus. I must take my leave. I return to Cairo as soon as possible. Well, my friend, it would seem that things are not going well for you.
I can hide nothing from you, Effendi. It is because of my cousin Abdul, the seedsman. Abdul is also the cabinet maker, sausage maker, professor of ancient literature, and a tap dancer by night at the port.
He wishes you to do a duet with him and wants you to wear a feather dress, is that it?
No, he is angry with his wife because of their daughter. She was seen in the company of a stranger a few evenings ago while she was going to the well. Since then, she hasn't returned. Abdul's wife is worried about the girl, but Abdul doesn't want to hear speak of it as he's afraid that it will bring shame on his family.
And you are also worried, which explains your distress.
Yes, she's a lovely young girl. But it is mostly because my wife is the cousin of Abdul's wife, and she told me that if I did nothing, she would smash everything I own, and I would no longer be welcome in the bedroom.
What does your niece look like?
A tall and beautiful young girl with a great black sari. Say, you must consort with strangers. You could ferret out a bit of information, could you not?
I will do my best.